In this video, we're going through everything I do in a given week for longevity with regards to exercise. If your goal is anything like mine and you want to live a long, high quality life, then this video may be helpful for you. I've spent years researching and putting together an optimized program that I believe is going to help me live a long, high quality life. We're starting off the week with a push workout. That's going to be one of 5 strength sessions, which are all going to come later in the video, and I'll give you a breakdown of. Plus, I'm going to be doing 3 specific cardiovascular sessions, which each have their own outcome as well. Let's dive into the push workout to get started. Starting the session off with some standing cuff laterals. The goal of these strength training sessions is to build as much muscle mass and strength as humanly possible. It's a difficult task, and it is one that requires a lot of effort to essentially build reserves for long-term health. During these exercises, I'm also pushing close to failure. There has to be some level of intensity. I'm leaving max 1 to 2 reps in the tank at the end. Next exercise is going to be an incline dumbbell press. Anywhere 30 to 45 degrees is good here. And again, we're pushing close to failure. Next exercise we're moving on to is a cable D-handle chest press here. I've got the D-handles around shoulder height. I am going to bring these round to the front and then pull it into a chest press position. Moving into an incline cable fly with the cuffs here, and one thing you have to consider when you're training for resistance is the importance and the difficulty of building muscle. I hear often on consultations with our potential clients, and even from some of our clients, that they don't want to put on too much muscle mass. Saying something like that is like saying you don't want to work too hard in case you get rich accidentally. One, it's never going to happen. You have to train very hard, very frequently, and be very deliberate in your ability to do so. And the second part is, if you get to a place where you're happy, you can just maintain, so you can back off a little bit. Don't be complacent about it, because it's one of the things that's going to serve you in later life, no matter what your goal is. Moving into the second last exercise of the session here, we have a cross-body pull down. Got my cable up nice and high, I've got a cuff here, and I'm just going to pull directly down and across my body, driving that elbow backwards. Moving into the final exercise, which is going to be an overhead rope tricep extension. Now, I have dual ropes here. If you only have one, that's fine, go with one, but I've got the 2 here just for a little bit of extra range of motion. Day 2 of strength training, and this is the first variation of my pull workout. So this is pull number 1. Getting into the standard here again, it's going to be a variety of 2 or 3 sets, 10 to 15 reps, pushing close to failure on all of the strength movements. After a brief warm up, I'm ready to get into set number 1. Exercise number 2 is a lying cable hamstring curl. So again, I'm lying flat here, I've got a cuff around my ankle, and I'm just curling up as close as I can to my glutes. Number 3 is a wide grip row here. If If you have one of these machines, fantastic. If not, you can do a dumbbell substitution or even use some cables as well. Next, we're going to do a seated cable row. Now, if you do have access to a proper cable row, fantastic. If not, do what I've got here, get something to fix your feet, just to press against. And then we're going to do one arm cable rows. So we're going on to the first bicep exercise here. I've got a high cable here, just a simple D handle, and it's going to be slightly above shoulder height. Moving into my last set of biceps here. So this is the final exercise, some cable curls. I've got D handles here, and we're going to failure on the last one. So this is day 3 of my daily exercise routine. So we're starting off with a 5 kilometer zone 2 run. That's just going to be a steady state pace to work on mitochondrial health and function. And then we're going to finish that off with 6 75-meter sprints at the end of the session with a 1 minute break in between to really work sort of max heart rate capacity and get a short but high intensity session in just at the end of that zone 2 training session. Today we're moving into day 4 of the exercise plan, which is my second push workout of the week. Exercise number 1 here is a leaning lateral cable. Again, we're pushing close to failure here in all sets, RPE 9, and we're going to go for 10 to 15 reps. Moving on to the next exercise here, it's going to be an incline cable chest fly. I'm going to use cuffs, so I actually thread my arm through the cuff, and then I complete the fly with my arms moving freely. Third exercise is going to be some tricep dips, body weight until failure, pushing as hard as I can in each set. We're moving on to a rope tricep press down, right into this next exercise. Moving on to a one-arm tricep here. I've got my back against the seat here. You can just stand up or sit down on a bench if you don't have something like this. Ideally, if you will have one of those half benches, those are fantastic. And we're gonna get straight into things. Working one arm at a time. Moving on to the last exercise of the session here, which is the rear delts. We're just over the hour mark, so this has been a pretty long session, but final exercise, rear delts to close out, and we're good to go. Going into our Friday session here, which is going to be the longest run of the week. This is a long, steady state zone 2. The goal here for me is 6 minute kilometers, which is going to take me about an hour to complete the 10K. I know that's a pace where I can maintain a steady zone 2 cardio. And again, I'm just ticking over, going nice and easy. So the goal of the zone 2 session is that I can still have a conversation. So I should still be able to talk. We've been doing this for about 15-20 minutes. I can still talk. I don't want to, but it's uncomfortable, and as you can see, it's also very wet. This is Saturday morning's workout, which is the second pull workout of the week. It's going to be a strength-focused pull workout. So we're moving into a prone lying dumbbell row, if I can speak. Everything in this workout is 3 sets, 10 to 15 reps, and pushing close to failure, so RPE of 9. Next exercise is moving into an upper back row. So the path of the bar here is to move up and backwards. You can replicate this in a seated row machine as well. I'm just having to get a little creative because obviously I'm in the home gym. This is a dumbbell preacher curl. So I'm going to be using the incline of the bench here. If you do have a dumbbell preacher curl machine in your gym, more power to you. Go ahead and use that. You can probably get a bit more stable. But for the rest of us who train at home or in the gym without one, then just go ahead and use the bench. A couple of things to think about here. The back of my arm is going to be flat against the pad. I'm stable, my shoulders are square, and I'm controlling the negative on the way down. And up. And I don't want to come all the way to the top because there's no tension. Come up to about maybe 25, 30 degrees short of the top, and slow and controlled. Last exercise is just a seated incline curl. Day number 6 on the training program is a 2-a-day. So this is a double session. Now it's going to be what's called a Norwegian 4x4 interval style session. Now the interval style session is a VO2 max training session. The goal here is pretty simple. 4 minutes on, 4 minutes off. And the 4 minutes on is at a maximum pace I can sustain for 4 minutes. It's not 90 seconds on and then try and recover for the next 2.5 minutes. It's a consistent pace that I can stick to for 4 minutes with 4 minutes of basic recovery, so going down to a walk. So I set a kilometre per minute pace, usually somewhere between 4 and 4:30, 4 minutes and 4:30 minute kilometres, and I stick to that for 4 minutes and hit the target. Day number 7 is leg day. We're diving straight into a goblet squat here. Exercise number 2 is a seated leg curl. I like to get myself really locked into these so that, as you can see at the moment, there's full stretch in my hamstrings. Moving into a leg press for exercise number 3. Next exercise is going to be a hip dominant split squat. Moving on to a leg extension here. Good solid way to get locked in. I like to have this pad as far back as I can. Last exercise here, we're finishing off with some calf raises on a leg press. You've seen absolutely everything that I personally do in a week. Now, what do you do? Ultimately, what you have to do is find something you can be consistent in. Strength training and improving your body composition, getting fitter through Zone 2 cardio, and increasing your aerobic capacity through your VO2 max are the three cornerstones of how I view training for a purpose now. So find ways to figure that into your routine, even with the time that you have. And if you enjoyed this video, you're really going to enjoy Peter Attia's longevity test that I done a few months back.